Sometimes it threatens, sometimes it does, and sometimes it's bright, but always it's driven grouse.
So we're grouse shooting today up in Scotland. We shot here yesterday and had a stunning day.
It is the peaches and cream of British sport. And if he or she has earned it, why shouldn't the well-heeled entrepreneur spend it? We met Ross Neville last year shooting pheasants in Wales. He has worked his socks off in construction in the USA these last dozen years, and grouse is how he likes his fortnight of me time in early September.
You know, this is a 2-week trip. Like I said, it started yesterday where we shot lochan, 141 brace, superb. Unfortunately, I was in it for most of the day, and then we shoot a few more moors in Scotland, and then next week we head on down to Yorkshire.
Now, there's lots more to a grouse day than one man going bang. Browning has sent up a gun for Ross to try, one of its John M. Browning collection, formerly the Browning Custom Shop, retail price £17,000. Normally, Ross is a double gun man. Oh, pity the poor double gunner and the loader who are faced with a single gun. They have to work out a system for loading it.
You know what? As soon as I fired the first time, I'll go, where's the other one?
Well, you can give it me if you want. You can give it me and I'll eject and reload and give it you back if you want.
Nah. I mean, it's pretty easy just to go. Right? I mean, that's... But is that difficult for you to load then?
The relationship between shooter and loader is a bit like a gay marriage. No, bear with me. With catty comments about the neighbours and the matter of who wears the +4s largely undecided.
On the left. Coming through. On your left.
Left. You get it?
No. Trying to get Rossi to shoot them early, not crazy early. Pick a spot on the horizon, decide where you think is 40 yards, mark it with your eyesight, and when you get a bird coming to that position or that line, we want to be taking the first shot. By the time you've computed that, it's probably into 35 yards. Now, some people are trying to take them a little bit too early. We're trying to take them at that 35, 40 yard first shot, especially today with this breeze. By the time the pack's on us again, 15 yards out for your second shot. And we do not want to be smashing them up. These birds have got to be eaten. Just keep underneath them.
Ross doesn't have Hugo along just for his sparkling wit. Before the day, Hugo does a lot of homework for Ross on which cartridges to use. You may have noticed that Ross likes to shoot in the pink. Well, Hugo didn't choose the shells just for the pretty colours.
There is a purple, they're not all pink. And the pink isn't because we like wearing pink, it's just that I chose a Rio Royal 32 gram 6, which I'm wanting us to shoot in our first barrel, 3/4 choke, for our 35 to 40 yard bird coming in, followed up by a Hull Sovereign clay shell, 28 gram 7, so a little bit lighter. That bird, that grouse coming in closer to the butt for the second shot, we don't want to be smashing it up with a heavy amount of lead. And yesterday and this morning, this combination has proved effective. Now, okay, we do get caught out sometimes if we've got long crosses or something, but the clay shell is still up to the job. I got some pattern boards and I experimented with different makes. I got Just Cartridges to send me through all sorts of different cartridge manufacturers, tested them at 25, 35 and 45 yards, different chokes. I basically wanted to do improved modified, which is 3/4 and 1/4 stroke 3/8, and I did that 45 yard moving in, and these were the two that suited the guns we're using.
Hugo also has a responsibility to help Ross with his shooting. They work as a team. Mildly dysfunctional, but a team.
Here we go. Oh, that's a beauty. That's got some pace about it. Have it.
How the hell did you hit that?
That's the beauty of that clay shell for your second shot. Yeah. We're not smashing the bird up. That had some serious pace.
Didn't it?
Your first shot was only about a minute and a half too late, but we got there.
We got there. Here we go. Nope.
And the shells are, of course, fibre wad. As the drive comes to an end, you start to get a sense of the number of people employed to make today happen.
From the point of view of local employment, we do an awful lot. Today there'll be 40 people out. Some of them will be on a daily basis, but an awful lot will be neighbours helping as well. So it's a big team effort.
Brian is in charge of the guns today and does his rounds making sure they are enjoying themselves and seeing fast sporting birds.
Yeah, it was just bloody good when I was right up that top.
Were you in the sort of butt on the...
Right, the end butt, number 9 or 10.
Right.
And it was like a roller coaster in front. You'd see them take off miles away, and then they'd go under, and then come over the top of that big stone, and then...
Well done, it's amazing, isn't it?
It was a brilliant drive, really was.
Right.
This is one of the best grouse years Lochan has seen. For Brian, it's all down to careful management, not just the magic panacea of medicated grit.
Our numbers have been relatively low because of the tick problems, so medicated grit hasn't been a particular value until the last 3 years, and now it clearly makes a difference. We can leave a bigger stock that we would be frightened to do on a regular basis, and that does give us more predictability.
At the heart of the Angus Glens, Lochan estate has escaped accusations from people like Chris Packham that it shoots hen harriers on site. However, 100 miles away in Edinburgh, politicians and lobbyists are trying to make people like Brian look like monsters for killing birds of prey in order to protect grouse. Brian struggles to understand this charge.
Merlins are here regularly. We don't see eagles down here very often. We occasionally do. There used to be an eagle site on Belfrax, but they've moved away. I think that's probably just to do with, well, possibly to do with the wind farm, but it also it's probably to do with the amount of walkers we're seeing on places like Schiehallion. Well, this valley here, which is basically keep it all around, is wonderful for black game, fantastic for curlews, and I come up here regularly in the spring when we're lambing and things like that, and seeing lapwings display is just a beautiful experience, and they're everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And as far as I know, there aren't many places like this. It is actually a wonderful thing to see. It's a fantastic place to work, yeah, and it's a fantastic place to be on a day like this as well, despite the rain showers.
Now, Ross has kids at home in the USA, and the youngest, Winston, is showing both a healthy interest in shooting sports and a highly developed sense of humour. As is becoming traditional when we film with Ross, he records a shout-out for Winston.
So, this is for you, Winston. We are standing in a butt today, and that is not a bottom, that is a B-U-T-T.
Ross was bitten by the grouse shooting bug and has since become a one-man tourism boom. Steph Murray from Yorkshire-based sporting agent Mark Ranmpton looks after all kinds of shooters.
We have a pheasant shooter with us today, and it's yesterday was his first ever day of grouse, so he's finding it a bit bewildering, the speed that they'll fly at you. He's not quite convinced if he likes grouse yet, just because they come straight at you rather than looking up at the blue sky, but I think by the end of the week he want to come back again. You can have fixed price days, you don't have to go into overage, and depends if you shoot at the beginning of the season in August or towards the end in October to what you pay. Since we do a lot of days, we can cater for various price budgets. Yeah. Probably to start off on a fixed price day, because you can get quite a shocker with overages. And grouse is obviously the ultimate bird to shoot, and it's very different from pheasants and partridges, so you kind of want to start on a smaller day, maybe 70 brace, and go from there, and you can pick it up to 100 brace or fixed price days where you can shoot any amount. So I'd suggest a smaller day to start off with.
Steph is also in charge of her gun's safety.
Ross shot one right in front of us and it bounced right off the front of our butt. Luckily it didn't hit us. You've got to be very wary. The beaters, the flankers, and of course the guns next door in the next butt. We do have butt sticks, so you can't swing down the line, and you must listen out for the horn. When the horn blows, you have to raise your gun and make sure that you know that you can't shoot any in front anymore, and then it's only shooting behind. Especially on the grouse moors, the beaters can appear from nowhere.
Now, a lovely day it has been, and we hope will continue to be for the rest of Ross's stay in the UK. But what of those Browning guns? Ross usually uses a pair of Krieghoffs, so what does he think of a gun from the John M. Browning collection?
Shoots very, very well, very balanced very well. and obviously did the job. I suppose, you know, I'm a bigger guy, so 6'4", so I do need a bigger, longer gun typically. But I think really, certainly for the grouse, you want a flat gun that shoots flat. But very much for this, you do want as a lighter gun because they're whippier, faster, quicker birds. So you need to be able to react quicker. The prettier the gun, typically the better it works.
Grouse is so much its own thing. If you're thinking of taking it up, it won't be long before you start looking for new guns for the job.
We don't do pheasants. We unfortunately don't have the clientele that want to shoot pheasants once they've had a taste for grouse. It's very, very luxurious.
Thanks to Browning for sending us to cover the day. For more about its John M. Browning shotguns, go to johnmbrowningcollection.com. And to go shooting at Lochan, get in touch with Mark Ranmpton.